This evening, we turn back the clock to 2004 when the late, great performer Joe Dolan guest presented nationwide and brought viewers on a tour of his hometown of Mullingar. We see Joe and the band in action at a local venue, and we visit the places and people he knew and loved so well in the Westmeath town.
Friends in.
Oh, yeah. I bring this down step shit.
Who's a pretty boy, huh? No, it's an absolute thrill to be back in Mullingar because it's always been very good to me. We've always hacked out every time we've been in Mullingar. And I think not appearing to be big-headed or anything else, but I think we've disproved the theory that a prophet is not acceptable in his own town because it's not true. We have a wonderful time here in Mullingar. God bless Mullingar.
When God created a woman for me, he must have been beautiful to show the world what a woman could be. Yeah, when he created a woman like you. Thank you very much. Good evening. And it's fantastic once again to be home in Mullingar. And tonight we'd like to welcome all the nationwide viewers who will be looking in. We have the nationwide crew here tonight filming. So the whole country is looking at Mullingar tonight.
Well, here's Mullingar now from a point which indeed I haven't seen it before. We're on the top of a new apartment block here in Mullingar and we're overlooking the town. As you can see, it's a town that's expanding rapidly. Like not so long ago, the population of Mullingar was only 5,000. Now we're in the region of 15 and growing very rapidly. Probably we'll be up to 20,000 in the next few years. A strange thing about Mullingar is, with me anyhow, it's where I was born and reared, and no matter where I tour, any part of the world, wherever I am, I'm only gone for a very short time, and I want to go back. I want to go home to Mullingar. I can't put my finger on any one thing, but I just want to go back to Mullingar. And as you can see, like I said before, it's grown leaps and bounds. There's buildings, tar and cement, the song we did years ago, is depicted by all these new buildings in Mullingar and the new roadworks and bypasses and all the rest of it.
Lost in the shadows of tar and cement, into the city where I had my eye on all the pleasures that money can buy. Yet I can see it all so clearly now, still going on.
Well, now this is the Westmeath Examiner, where I got my first job. I was absolutely thrilled to bits to get the job. I'm not saying that the lads inside were very happy to see me coming, but they were happy to see me going. It was nice. Push. Oops.
Here's a man with his old job. How are you? You well?
Nice
How are you doing?
How are you?
How are things?
This is Ronan, the editor of the Westmeath Examiner, and it's nice to be back with you, Ronan. Things are all ago.
High tech, Joe.
High tech. Well, that's a little bit different now than sort of when I was here. It was sort of low tech. What
are you actually physically doing down
Well,
there?
when I started here, I was physically, with a bottle of water in the morning, you'd come in and you'd sprinkle it around the floor and you'd sweep it for 2 years almost. Well, a year anyway.
Starting at the bottom.
That was starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
You can't start any closer down than the floor.
And
No, I enjoyed it.
How quickly did you rise?
About a year. I started doing an apprenticeship for compositing. And after 5 years, then I was a fully qualified compositor. Now, the music had sort of come in to my life in the meantime.
Did you quit or did you ease out or what
Well,
happened?
what happened actually was Kevin Callaghan said to me one day, now, he was that fed up with me coming in late every morning. He said, Joe, he said, you're going to have to make up your mind, he said. It's music or it's the printing. And he said, I think I know the answer already. So I said, well, Mr. Cadigan, I think you do. And as soon as I qualify, I'll be out of your hair. So he said, fair enough. So I got my first full week's wages and then left.
My love for you gets deeper and deeper. My need for you gets deeper and deeper. Oh, when you're lying here beside me, and it feels so right. My love for you gets deeper and
The paper, I suppose, is a very changed looking publication from what it was 20 years ago. But at the same time, it reflects a significant change in population. Housing estates, apartments going up almost on a monthly basis, a very big commuter population, decentralisation on the agenda, significant amount of jobs in the Department of Education coming here. Very busy, very pressurised, very growth orientated. That has its own problems in terms of lifestyles and changing people's changing concerns. We have to reflect that as well as carry the local notes in Kinnegad or Castlepollard. So it's a very busy, thriving town, and it keeps us busy.
Now, in case there's any confusion, I'm Joe, and this is my brother Ben. Now, after our mother died, we were probably the original odd couple. We lived together in the family home. All the rest of the family were all away in different places. And we sort of got interested in a big way in sort of music. Together we used to make the dogs howl and, and all sorts of stuff. So we had a great time, and lots of friends used to call now and again and the whole bit.
So it got into the blood at that time, so we decided we better actually start a band. So we started a band, and, well, it lasted as long as Mullingar.
but I do. And I don't know why I cry so, but I do.
The best part I used to remember was that Joe did all the cooking. You know, I made sure to be neat of going to the loo when I'd go home in the evening time, and I'd say to Joe, will you get the dinner ready there? I'll only be a few minutes. So I'd come in, he'd have the dinner made up, you know. So it stood to him in the long run, because he became a very good cook. So I'll take credit for that.
I don't know why I love you, but I do.
This is one of the terraces of the beautiful Belvedere House, just outside of Mullingar, on the Tullamore Road, in fact. This is where we shot the cover of our first album ever. And at that time, this house was owned by a friend of mine called Rex Bowman, who unfortunately died some years back. And it was bought over by the Westmeath County Council and restored to its former glory and beauty. It is now one of the major tourist attractions in the country. So whenever you're in Mullingar, this really and truly is a must-see, the Belvedere House.
Love, if you leave without warning, soft when I'm sleeping in the still of the morning. What could I do if I knew you were going? So please steal away without my knowing. And if it's over, don't let me know.
I think I'm a little overdressed for dinner, am I?
Belvedere House was built in 1740 for Robert Rochford, who later became the first Earl of Belvedere. And here we are today in the exquisite drawing room of the house. And I would like to draw your attention to the exquisite Rococo ceilings that are designed by Chameleon. Robert was a peculiar man and an eccentric man and had lavish tastes, but also is known famously as the Wicked Earl. Robert kept his wife, Mary Munsworth, locked up for 31 years at the family estate at Goldstown because he probably falsely accused her of having an affair with his brother Arthur. Not only did he keep her locked up for 31 years, he followed Arthur to the debtors' court and ruined him with debts of £20,000.
Hello again. This is Mullingar's Art Centre. There's lots of shows go on here all the time. There's various artists come and do concerts here. In fact, I've done one myself. Now, this used to be the county hall years ago in the old dance hall days, and they had a dance here every Tuesday night. Every band in the country worth their salt played here different Tuesday nights, including myself and my band at the time. And well, I have a fella here now that probably could enlighten you a little bit more than I can on the county hall. Sean Lynch.
You know, the funny thing about seeing you back here is 31st December 74.
Up.
Now, I can't remember this.
Of course not, your daddy told you.
My daddy told me. The largest crowd ever at any event in the county hall was New Year's Eve when yourself and the Drifters were playing here. You knew the guy in the door. And suffice to say, he didn't stop at the fire safety limit when he was getting the money coming in. We're providing an outlet for the arts in all aspects. We're averaging about 2,000 people a week coming through the doors of the Art Centre, both to partake in and observe art. We have a huge children's programme whereby we're teaching the next generation to be more appreciative of arts through our arts appreciation programme, drama in the schools, modern dance classes and art classes here. So I'd like to think that the person who has my job in 20 years' time will have a more appreciative audience out there than we have at the moment.
This is Frankie McIntyre, hairdresser extraordinaire and one of our most popular councillors. He's been cutting hair for, well, ever since I can remember. He's a very, very well respected man in Mullingar. He probably has more information coming into his shop here than you get in the KGB or wherever else they get information. There's endless chat normally between the hairdresser and the victim.
Well, I remember Martin Hines, another councillor, saying at a meeting one night, he said that I don't have a barber shop. He said I have an interrogation centre where they pay me to get their hair cut. Or, you know.
Yeah.
But one of the newspapers rang me and said, could they ask for my permission? Could they use it? Because we're afraid I might sue them. Of course it was delighted, because it's the truth.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The great thing too is that I'm delighted to say that Mullingar, we recognised you and gave you the honour of letting you feed your sheep in the market square.
Well, thank you, and that was basically down to you that I got the freedom of Mullingar. It was lovely, and I didn't get a sheep yet.
Did you not?
No, I have to go and get a couple of sheep.
You ask me if I love you.
Gotcha.
On my reply.
You're looking very fit. She's looking after you. She's looking after you. Yeah.
She doesn't know when.
That's the truth. I agree with you. God bless you. Take care.
Who am I to judge you?
And is there any truth in the fact that Ben is going to take up country and western singer?
Well, no, we were talking to Willie Nelson
You want to watch
recently, and he was asking him to do a couple of numbers he
Yeah,
has.
I heard about it.
So we'll see what happens.
Right.
We'll see
Good
what
luck
goes
to
down. Good luck, Joe. All the best. Take care.
Sometimes when we touch.
This is the parochial hall in Mullingar, and this is Christy May, who right here in the parochial hall started the first disco in Ireland. Christy was the first guy to have a disco in Ireland. Christy, you must have seen a lot of stuff over the years.
A lot of things happened. We started the disco back in 1965. Of course, the show bands, Joe was a superstar then, as he is now, and has been for the last 40 years, and will be for the next 40 when it looks at things today, things are going.
The crowds were really flocking into your disco at the time.
Well, we're very fortunate you were first in the business.
Well, that's
again.
true, yeah.
And it was a novelty.
When you were at that, didn't you have a bit of a problem with sound?
We had to make our own equipment because there's no equipment, disco equipment as such. So we had to make everything. So we had to build our own lights as well and build our own bass bins and all the rest. But when we had it all built, we discovered there was so much volume from the bass bins and all the rest of it that they used to affect the turntable. So it took me nearly 2 years to from the time we started to get it solved, you see. But we solved it with the most simplest thing if possible, a sponge on top of the back seat of a spring of a car. And there was only a particular type of spring that worked. And it totally solved the feedback problem and noise going into it.
And the vibration.
And the vibration.
Yeah. But that seat solved a dual purpose, didn't it? Like, not alone did it stop the vibration, but when you were finished, you used to put that back in the car. If you got lucky and maybe found a young lady and,
Joe, I didn't have a car then.
You just had a seat out of one. Well, here we are on Mullingar Golf Course, probably the best inland golf course in the country. In fact, is the best inland golf course in the country. It takes men down to little shriveling boys at the end of the day.
Tell me this is Joe's passion, playing golf. I think winning is Joe's passion. He's not terribly fussed about the game. It's what happens when he comes in.
No, I don't mind. It's not the winning that I like. It's just beating somebody.
Yeah.
Before you got used to me.
Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. So, thanks, Tommy.
Good shot, Joe. That's pretty close.
It's enjoyable when you do a bit of walking, even though I'm out of puff.
Oh, well, it happened to Tiger Woods. It happened to me. One of those things.
Mullingar Golf Club started in 1894, but this is our fifth site. It started in 1937 and designed by the famous James Braid, who won the British Open on 5 occasions. This course has stood the test of time in no uncertain manner because only the great players win here. Christy O'Connor, Fred Daly, and latterly the more famous Darren Clark, Pádraig Harrington, and Paul McGinley have all been winners of the Mullingar Scratch Cup. There are over 1,400 members here, and I can't imagine life in Mullingar without Mullingar Golf Club.
Adrian!
Thank you. I did a mix in this song here, so we'll just see how it sounds.
Oh, yes, yeah. I was wondering how that was going to turn out. I love the flow of that particular 2 lines there. Yeah, the girls come in beautifully on that. Very good. I'm very happy with that. Yes, that's very happy. This is a proposed track for our new album, which we hope to have ready for sometime in the end, close enough probably to the end of the year. So we look forward to another good album, please God, and everything will be flying. Okay, we're in the Band Room Studios here, and this is Ronan Casey from the Westmeath Examiner. He writes a lot of the music bits and all that sort of stuff. And we're delighted that there's a very, very healthy live band situation in Mullingar at the moment. Now, to tell you more about it, I'll let Ronan take it on.
Well, you're right there, Joe. It's an incredibly healthy scene at the moment in Mullingar.
upwards 20-30, well, I know it sounds small, but upwards of 20-30 bands gigging at the moment. 3 kind of purpose-built original music venues to accommodate them. A great thriving scene of independent labels, and people have their own studios, recording their own albums, and running their own gigs and things like that. People like Johnny Cronin and Peter Dolan here both have albums on the way at the moment.
All I want is for you to be happy. 'Cause that, yeah. Yeah, but if I go, you promise me you'll be there for every sunrise. You'll be there for every sunset. Till one of us lies cold. Well, I can't.
See, a lot of the proof, I guess, in the pudding, to be honest. And if the guys are out there and they're gigging and they're giving it their thing, people will sort of see they're good, right? We're going to play these guys.
Mullingar has a rich history, a history which we're still uncovering today with the old Mullingar jail site here behind us. When Mullingar was founded 800 years ago by the Normans, it was a period of great change for the Normans and for the Irish. I think at the moment Mullingar is going through an even greater period of change. The town has developed incredibly in the last 10, 15 years, and it's going to develop even further following the National Spatial Strategy as a gateway town. It's certainly going to bring more investment, more confidence and more vitality to the town. That confidence reflects in the people who are looking forward to the change. They're willing to embrace this future for Mullingar, and they're ready for it.
You have been the most wonderful audience in the world tonight. I would also like to say at this point a good night and thanks for watching to our nationwide viewers. Thank you very much.